But we go and we run to the end and we run without shame. We own the game. And we ride on the flames till the morning light. Baby, cause we're dynamite. Ain't nobody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Simmery TV. Today, we are getting into Chapter 4 of Call of the Sea. That's right, guys. So, if you have not checked out chapters 1 through 3, please go take a look at those before you take a look at this one. And if you're here just because you're looking for some helpful tips on Chapter 4, then welcome, and let's get right into it.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into this really quickly. I had to voice over this one. I wanted to see if the audio comes out a lot clearer. I know you can't hear the audio of the game, but yeah, we're just trying to see what works the best with making sure you guys can understand me. So right here, I'm just kind of looking around, checking out the scenery in the game. I knew that this had a lot of different like little nooks and crannies and spaces because that's pretty much been the theme throughout the entire game so far. So I'm just kind of taking a look at everything, and then when I get done, I am just gonna kind of take a look at all the puzzle pieces and get all of my information together first. All right, so right as we come across this bridge right here, as you guys can see, there are a lot of things to kind of take a look at. We have this kind of area here, some kind of electrical system thing going on. So there's a lot of little pieces to this puzzle, which I can already tell from where we're at. Going up this ladder here, let's just see what's going on up here. So I noticed that there's like a picture of what looks to be a possible piece of a puzzle. However, it did not allow me to kind of take notes on that. So I'm not really sure why that is there, if it was just for like a symbol or what. Um, this is where I found like the electricity was not working. So I was just kind of trying to put the puzzle together mentally in my head to figure out what I was going to have to do so I could choose the best like course of action here. So I also noticed, I'm also noticing, guys, that the screen in some, like at random times, will get like a little blur to it. I don't think that's anything that I can fix. It has to do, I'm assuming, with like internet connection, you know, how your internet connection can get stronger or weaker. So that's what's happening. Um, Now we're just taking a look at um, all the information that's on the island from all the pictures and the writing, and just collecting as many notes as we can. It looks like Frank died. Um, so, yeah. One thing I have noticed about this game is that it has a lot of like smaller glitches and things, but it's nothing major to where it would make me not want to play the game or not, or like it would interfere with the quality of just the gaming experience. But you do notice like little glitches, like paper glitching in with the table. So right here, I'm realizing that we're gonna have to deal with. I'm still collecting like little tips and tricks, but or the little notes. But this is where I realized that the first thing I'm gonna have to do is deal with the electricity here because it will not turn on. But I also saw this other puzzle. I'm kind of just checking around. There's a little chest under here, but it's not letting me utilize it. I thought that was really weird. You can see I'm trying to pick it up or trying to open it up to see if there's anything in there so that I don't miss anything. But I find out very quickly that that is not helpful at all. So then I came to this, and this was the first puzzle. So as you can see, when you push this green button, it makes all three of the wheels spin. But I also noticed that it is on a lever as well. So, um, and I noticed that the lever, which I'm about to point out in a minute, is more toward the bottom part of where the circle could go. So yeah, that right there, this right here, makes the wheel spin, and it's gonna move the circles to the bottom where I can lock each one in place with the lever. So I'm gonna kind of try to explain it to you. So the green button, we're gonna work with the first one. Hit the green button until that circle is on the bottom. Um, okay, so now that the circle's on the bottom, when you look through it, you see how you can see the lever now. So now we need to go around to the other side so we can pull the lever and lock it into place. Then I realized the lever is not locking for some reason. So now I'm gonna try to figure out why the lever isn't locking into place. As you can see, it didn't lock, so something is stopping me from letting it lock into place. And I realize it has something to do with the water wheel right there, right here. So I need to figure out what that's connected to before I can even do the lever. Along the way, I started seeing these murals. So I decided that I would go ahead and notate them in my journal instead of waiting. By the way, I'm still trying to look to see what this kind of what the what the water wheel is connected to. But I'm running into a lot of like new kind of information and materials, so I am going to take my time to kind of make sure I pick up those notes as well. There was a lot of things to kind of take a look at in this particular area, so make sure like you're not rushing through it. Also, I was starting to make connections with all of these different murals in the tombs, and jotting down the notes in my notepad so that I would be able to do the puzzle because it seemed like it was going to be a more simpler puzzle. Make sure you take a look at every single mural and pay attention to the symbols that are on the murals because that's going to tell you how to solve that particular puzzle. So I'm noticing that this mic needs to be turned on and it's also being tuned by the tuning forks of statues around it. So this is yet another, probably the last piece to this puzzle um, that we're going to have to be able to put together in order to leave this area. Okay. So at this point, I done started figuring things out, and I'm putting together um, the tuning fork puzzles. Literally, you look at the notebook and it tells you exactly which one to push. It's literally that simple. The main thing you guys need to remember is that you look at all the murals because it literally is going to give you the answer. It's one of the easier puzzles where um, and that got the water wheel going. So now, as you can see, I'm able to lock my gears into place with my lever. Um, kind of how I explained at first, press the green button until the circle on the bottom is at the bottom. And then lock it in place with the lever. And you do this 3 times to get all of them locked in place. Once you do that, you have this puzzle right here. This is one that can be a little bit complicated if you don't know how to work it. But here's the basis of what I can tell you because it may differ depending on if you pressed buttons or not. The basics is you could push the top left button and the bottom right button if you go in, haven't pushed anything. However, if you've already pushed something on that machine, what you're going to need to do, what you need to understand about that particular puzzle is that um, whatever button you press, it is going to light up the two on the opposite, both of the ones on both the opposite sides of the puzzle. So it's going to light up three. See, so kind of breaking it down. When I push the button, all three of the lights change. So what you want to do is get it to where there is only um, one or two lit up, and then all right, so I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. So, did you see when I hit the one in the middle, not just the middle one light lit up, but the ones on both the left and the right of that button also lit up? So, keeping that in mind, so now that they're all off, you can see that I'm going to be able to do it easier. Press that one, and then there's only one more that needs to be lit up. Um, but your goal is to light all of them up together. So you actually want to get it to where one button like this is already lit. Here's the answer. One is already lit. So now I can press the middle one here and all three of those will light up. The middle one there, all three of those will light up. All of the lights are on. And now I can turn on the electricity throughout this level of the game. So I hope that that kind of explained everything with that particular puzzle. It is a bit difficult, but it is going to be easier if you can get it to where there's one light on. So just keep pressing the buttons until there's like one light on. But also understand that the way it works is whichever button you press, it affects that button and the buttons to the left and right of it. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that puzzle. Now that the electricity's on, we can start going around and making sure we're turning on all of our switches. This way, we can get our microphone right here to work, and see what that does and how that will help the door to open up. Hopefully, that's the only thing we need to like open up the door. So um, let's get these lights turned on. And I actually had forgot about this one, so I had to go back and do it. And then it threw me into like a subconscious state of mind, because I guess I hit my head so hard. There is a quick little story detail in there that you're going to want to listen to and pay attention to. But also, this is Nora's kind of walk through, her life for real. But make sure you stop and take a look at all the things that are in there as well so that you have all of your notes. Now, I am not going to hold you. I struggle with trying to figure out how the heck do I supposed to get into this house a little bit, because I thought I could just walk up and turn the door handle. It was a thing with the controller settings. So my settings were a little weird. And so I had to press my trigger button in order to open it. And that was why it took a little bit for me to get inside. Also, I think it's fair for me to note that this definitely gave me beginning of the game deja vu. So, to be fair, we're over halfway through with the game. Yay! Congratulations to us. We are halfway through with the game, and but yeah, it kind of gave me beginning of the game vibes already. Y'all remember the chessboard in the beginning, this music box, and I was trying to figure out how to turn this thing on. I was like, oh my God, I I do not know what to do. Also, I found this family tree very interesting. I couldn't get to anything in my notebook but that. So the whole purpose in that was finding the music box, and I believe there's more information that you learn as well about Nora. Now we're able to turn on the mic, sing into it, and we're about to see some really cool things happen right now as this door begins to open and shift. This was one of the few halls that are transitions, because the transitions in these games are like the walkthroughs. Make sure you take a look at all the murals, by the way, as you walk through this hallway. You're gonna learn a lot this basically confirms that she's some comes from some type of merman or mer family. Um, but yeah, and this is like an elevator, like the one we had in the first part, that is going to bring us to this next puzzle, which I am going to explain to you guys because it can be a little bit difficult. I'm going to try to simplify it for you guys as much as possible. But again, as always, make sure you take a look at every single piece in here. But as I was talking about earlier, the hallways are the transitions in this game. So that particular hallway was one of the least like creepy. That particular hallway was one of the like least weird or creepy ones in the game. But yeah, so as you can see right now, making sure you take a look at every last one of your murals. Um, and taking a look at the puzzle, you should have everything notated like I'd have right here. And I'm going to show you guys how to figure out the puzzle. This puzzle was, I would say, medium level of difficulty. It really wasn't hard, but you did have to do some type of work. So as you can see, I'm starting to fumble around with it a little bit right now. Um, and like once you know the answer, um, it's pretty simple. You can break it down by the symbols, the words of the symbol meanings. Um, I did the pictures. It was easier. I have a mind for puzzles, so a lot of pictures, I can pick up a lot just off of the pictures more than I can off of getting into like the actual words and stuff because then my mind goes into like research mode. So when I do puzzles, I stick with like things that resonate and connect through pictures and signs and symbols. So that's kind of what I did here. And I know that that can be pretty complicated, but I'm about to break it down to you here in a minute. All right, guys, my bad. I had to turn the music down a little bit. It was kind of loud. Y'all won't get to hear it, but I heard it, so I turned it down so it wouldn't blow you guys away. All right, so at this point, I got a little bit confused because if you just go by the pictures, you can kind of get confused because there's two that are very very similar. So there's two ways to kind of handle it. One of them's the right way, and that will get the door open, and the other one is not gonna open the door. So I did the wrong one first, and now I'm about to show you guys the way you're actually supposed to open the door. I was getting so frustrated right here. I threw the bottle of wine. I was getting so frustrated because I just was like trying to fit, and I knew it was like something simple, but kind of grateful that I did because I would have missed all of this right here. And so you kind of need this information as well. So make sure again that you look at every single thing because I almost missed this. All right, guys. So at this point, I believe I finally figured it out. Um, so I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. Now that one on the end that has the one star burst on it, that one I knew I had that one right. So it was the other three. There we go. So that one is up, that one is to your right, and the other two are down, if I'm not mistaken. And that will open the door. Um, and it will bring you to this drum puzzle. Make sure you take out the papers that are on the side. So basically with this puzzle, the only thing you have to do is listen to the sound that the wall is playing to you and then uh, make it that same sound right back. I went through this for so long, guys, before I got it right because I just have a horrible musical ear. So if you have a good musical ear, I would say learn your drum sounds first, and then that's going to make this puzzle go by a lot faster and a lot easier. Second thing I want to mention is y'all see how I am wearing these drums out. You see how I'm wearing that drum out? It is because of one of the glitches. So it did not want to like react respond whenever I hit the drum. So I had to keep hitting it several times until it would make the sound, which in the try, a lot of the turns that I had, it messed them up and made me start all the way over. That's the other thing. If you mess up even one time, it will start you over from the very beginning. So once you get one right, try to remember what you did. Um, so as to minimize the amount of times that you're going to have to redo it. As you can see, this is taking me a little bit. Okay, so with that being said, we finally finished the puzzle again, and as you can see, it opens up a gateway. And this is when we're coming to the end of chapter 4. Not quite there yet, but almost. So you're going to go use these pathways, use your hands to kind of activate these different portals that are going to take you to an underground world. So we're back with the Spidey hands, or not really Spidey hands, but the Mer woman hands. Um, Me enjoying the fish and chasing after the fish, but it's going to bring you to another underwater tunnel, and it's basically just kind of traveling you throughout this tunnel deeper and deeper in until you get to uh, the chapter 5 opening. Um, Now we will. Oh yeah, there's this puzzle. I forgot all about this puzzle. So it is controlling the wind or the flow of water, the pressure and the flow of the water. So I'll show you exactly what you have to do. With this particular puzzle, you need the. You see, I'll show you. See how that's running? What I needed to do was run them both at the same time so they connect together at the same time. Um, and the way that I learned to do this, I'm about to figure it out in a minute, is so right there, I would press that first one that has the more squiggly lines until the light reached like almost to the golden part, and then I would press the other one so they would both come together, and make sure that that middle arrow is up, and that's going to allow you to go through. It's going to like shoot you through like that. Okay, so now you need to look for the other portal, which is right here. And it is going to enter into chapter 5. So this is the section for chapter 5. You have a lot to look at, a lot to observe, and a lot of notes to jot down and pieces of puzzles and things to put together. Now, I did spend a little bit of time just kind of walking through this, taking a look at it, and things like that. But as you guys know, we will get more into this chapter later, or in the next video. So stay tuned. If this video has been helpful to you as far as learning the puzzles, or you just kind of enjoy watching these videos, then by all means make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for chapters 5 and 6. They are the last two chapters. This is a little bit of chapter 5, but chapters 5 and 6 are the last two chapters, and we will get into those in the next one. I'll see you guys in chapter 5. Bye.
But we golden, we run to the end and we run without shame. We own the game.